Hi, I'm Esther. Welcome to Bible Now. This is a Bible Now explainer video. We're going to be talking today about some of the names of God that we see in the Old Testament. You see God, capital G-O-D. Sometimes you see lowercase g-o-d, and then you also see the word Lord. And most of the time when you see that, it's with all capitals or small capitals, and that's in almost every English version of the Bible. So first of all, most of the time when you see the word God, it's a translation of the Hebrew word Elohim, which you see here. This can be used specifically of the God of Israel, and when it is, they put it with an uppercase G, but it's also referring more generally to other spiritual beings. So it'll be used to talk about, say, the gods of Egypt or the gods of Canaan. But that's a generic term. It's not a name. The name of Israel's God you see here. This is pronounced Yahweh. Yahweh is not the only Elohim in the Bible. And that bothers some people when they hear it for the first time because there is one God. Yes, that's absolutely true. However, there are other Elohim in the Bible, and those would be written out with a little g. Yahweh is the creator of all, the sustainer of all. He's the only sovereign Lord, and he is the only uncreated being. And that is the thing that really sets them apart. We're seeing that Yahweh is the name of the God of Israel. Most of your Bibles do not ever use the name Yahweh. They will use the Lord. So the Lord is the name of the God of Israel. And sometimes some of your translations, and particularly some older translations, will use Jehovah. So Jehovah is the name of the God of Israel. Why do we not just say Yahweh? That's a good question. So let's look at this word that we haven't talked about yet. This is the Hebrew word Adonai. This is little L, Lord. Master is a way that we could translate it. It's a title of respect, and it can be used for human beings or for divine beings. If it's used for the God of Israel, they do capitalize it. Now look at the third commandment. Third commandment says, you shall not take the name of Yahweh your God in vain. That applies to a lot more than just speaking his name, but that's a particular area that the Jews wanted to be really careful of. So they developed a way to avoid saying the name. They thought that was the best way to honor the third commandment, to honor God, to make sure they didn't take his name in vain, was just not to speak it at all. So they took that Hebrew word Adonai, and they took the vowels from that and the consonants from Yahweh and made a mashup. They started doing this around the 500s BC. So when they read a text, when they came across the divine name, they would say the word Adonai, which again is translated Lord. So when the Old Testament got translated into English and other European languages, the question was, how are we going to translate this? So what most of them did is they chose to follow the example of the Jews and translate this as Lord. But so readers would know that it was a translation of the divine name and not of the word Adonai, they would use those all caps. Now, some groups and in some places in the Bible, they would want to transliterate it instead, but they transliterated the mashup, which looked to them like Yehovah. It came into English then as Jehovah. But it is highly, highly likely that Yahweh was actually the original pronunciation of that name.